Hi there, I hope you are doing well. So in this tutorial, I am just going to give you a minimal demo of LangSmith, that why we use LangSmith, what is LangSmith. So in our first video, I have explained the initial setup of LangGraph. Basically, LangGraph is being used to create agentic flows and orchestration of complex scenarios. Okay, and then we can LangGraph is another framework of LangChain, and now LangSmith is another platform of LangChain, which is being used for tracing of your projects. And I have already explained you in my first video, in this video, that how to set up your LangSmith or your project with LangSmith. You will just need to set up these API keys. LangSmith is equal to true LangSmith endpoint, and which will be same for all projects, and LangSmith API key, which will be unique API key that you will create in your LangSmith project, and LangSmith project name that you want to give name to your project. Okay, and LangSmith API key, you will just need to click on settings, and you will need to get your API key from here by clicking on create API key. Okay, and so now LangSmith have multiple things. In one video, in 5 minutes of in short video, I cannot explain everything, but I can give you overview. So in tracing projects, once you will integrate, or once you will define the API keys into your project in .env environment variables, then it will be automatically fetched or pulled your project on LangSmith, and you will be able to trace your project, like my lesson 1 that we ran in earlier in the first video. So here now I just given it a query. You remember I just said hi. Now I can trace it. I can trace the latency. It was completed in 1.65 seconds. How many tokens were basically how many tokens were executed. There are 20 tokens, input plus output, and then the cost of key, it is $0.002 because we are using Anthropic's paired key. First token was generated in 15 seconds and 1558 milliseconds, and then so this is something we can trace. Even you will click on it, then further you will be able to trace it in more in detail. And this is very simple trace. Okay, and this whole is called trace, and these are called runs within trace, chatbot, and then chat model that we are using. So, and then there is a section of prompt that I will explain you in another video. We will define here prompts, and we will create prompts. You are a chatbot or something like this, and we will use these prompts, let's suppose, as a system messages in our project, or as a prompts in our project. So we will work with these prompts as well. You can define your prompts here instead of hard coding in your code, and you can then use these prompts into your agents using LangSmith API key that we have already defined in environment variables. And then there is playground. You can play with your prompt. Further we will I will explain you this in depth. For now you just understand the tracing and the prompt section. Okay, and then there is deployment section. We will also deploy the agents. And yeah, so and then there is monitoring section. I will explain this in other videos. Data and experiments and annotation queues, we will learn everything in detail. For now you just need to understand the tracing thing and prompt. Okay, and how to set up this in your project. So this was the minimal intro of LangSmith. LangSmith is used for evaluation and monitoring of your project. Define your prompts there, do prompt engineering here, and deploy your Langgraph applications here directly. So this is something we have LangSmith, and Langgraph is being used to create agents using coding, and then LangChain is another framework. So we will also play around LangChain. Thank you.